microphone connected. When it's a one-man show, it's so many things to do and so many things that can go wrong that if you're not careful, you make a little boo-boo. So, my friends, we are back again. Welcome back to another episode of State of Affairs, where we have so many stories to cover, big developments, plot twists. It's crazy. And I will have to say, I told you so, because I did say yesterday that I believe that there is something more in immortal than the pestle. And exactly what I was alluding to. And my co-host wisely told me don't go there. But then the reports started coming out. And that's why I said people don't go from 0 to 100 so quickly. And now we are seeing whereby things are things are a bit shaky. And sorry to say, but this is the reality situation. We have to report the news. You know, I had Mr. Eversley on the show a couple days ago, and he was extremely hurt by the death of his relative, Miss Eversley, and I have to try and get him back in to get his comment on that situation, and stay tuned for that. All right. So as we go forward, let's take in the thought for today. The thought for today is difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. I am living proof of that, my friends. I am living proof of that. I have had difficult roads, and I have also had beautiful destinations. And that's a very, very nice quote, because sometimes the harshness that we sometimes feel, the harshness we sometimes feel is sometimes it's not easy. You know, the harshness we sometimes feel is sometimes it's not easy to go through all of those things, and the difficult roads does lead to beauty, because as I make the point already, diamonds don't just appear. Diamonds go through a very rigid, harsh, tough process. And sometimes you have to be glad that you go through these tough times, because sometimes you would be seeing tough times, and it's the Almighty Father is preparing you to be more wise, be more tactful, to save. Because if you don't go through tough times, you won't find where the groceries that sell the cheaper groceries are and gives you the best deals. Because when you're going through tough times, you have to find those groceries. You don't have a choice. You have to get out and find those groceries. So when you want value for your money, now going forward, now you think that if you're in a situation where you know nice rosy situation, and you have to watch, you still have to watch your pennies, you're going to go back to that same groceries to save some money. Not so. All right. So these things help us to get to where we ought to be, and this is the reality situation. All right. So in the headlines, a very, very serious headline: murder plot thickens. Pardon me. 28-year-old cop to be charged with killing Anushka Eversley, trafficking and arms possession amongst possession of ammunition and robbery. 5 other officers suspended as ACP remain on leave. And the other headline here is no cabinet reshuffle. And the Prime Minister is very happy because her first year in government has gone. And I think she was celebrating her birthday also on this day. So I guess that's why she's so elated and very happy. And a very wonderful photo here with the Minister of Home Affairs and the minister, I can't remember what ministry is under now, but that is Mr. Saddam Hussein. What a name he has. I always wonder why his parents gave him that exact same name. But they are all smiles as the UNC cross 1 year. And there are a lot of mixed feelings according to which lens you view through or which pages you go on Facebook. Some people are very happy with what their performance thus far. And we have been billing out and asking questions on TikTok about their performance. And feel free to put in the comment section what do you think of the performance of the government in the last year. Now, there was a very interesting poll on one of the number one radio stations in the country that has a wide listenership. They asked the question this morning, and I found it very interesting. They asked a question this morning. They asked, what do you rather? What do you worry about more? Crime and corruption, or employment or slash unemployment, and the cost of living? Right? And I found that to be a very interesting question. You know, what people really thinking about crime and corruption or the cost of living and jobs. You understand? So, and it came out 70-30. It's an unscientific poll, of course, but it came out 70-30, and 70% of the persons were more concerned about their jobs and the cost of living than crime and corruption. You know, so it was a very interesting, unscientific poll, and the vast majority of people there said that they were more concerned about crime, not crime, no, the cost of living and jobs. So the people calling and they said that, you know, if you have a job, you may not commit crime. And then some said that if the place end up corrupted, you'll have more crime. So it's a very interesting headline. But where the murder plot thickens story is concerned, I have to get guidance from my co-host because I am scared to talk about what was revealed in the Anna Ramdas report. I read the report and I was astonished. And I believe many of you would have read it too. And I don't know if it is even wise. But I did say that I believe there's more going on there than meets the eye. As a matter of fact, I think I could repeat what the Prime Minister said, because the Prime Minister would speak with some level of authority. The Prime Minister said that the authorities have been looking at that station for some time, because remember the way the thing goes, people give information to police, right? And sometimes the police have people in certain areas looking at certain situations, and they had picked up that about 8-9 months ago, guns started to be sold by a particular individual that was associated with that station. You know, so this is the end result. And then there are allegations that the person, the main person was or is a drug addict. And when you see the actions, those type of actions, where you're not thinking, you know, and I was discussing with someone yesterday. I said, if most time when people thieving, let's say you go in a mother milk pan to steal some milk and sugar, it's something we are accustomed to doing as children here in China. I don't know if people do it in America with Americans and Europeans have liquid milk. They have, you know, they drink milk in cartoons, but we have powdered milk. And the powdered milk now, when you mix that with sugar, that's like a little treat. So children are very attracted to that. But when you go in the milk, you will take a little bit of sugar, and you put it in your mouth, you and your brother and your sister, and you sneak away and you go. Right now, I'm having problems with my children with that. The baby going and find the milk pan, and she's sitting down and he counted there and dipping milk and eating milk. You know? So I had to put it in a pan that she can't open. You know, so as children, we stole. But when you realize that the milk is going down at such a level that you'll be found out, you don't steal anymore. You pull back. And then when mommy put more milk in the pan, you may go and you might pilfer a little more again. And so you're going. I think that's the natural progression of a somebody who is in an organization doing stuff for the side and don't want to get caught. So you'll try and keep riding the train as long as possible. But when you come into a place, commit ghastly acts, and then empty all of the firearms, I am left like, wow, this person has an issue. Why would you want to take all at one time? And the rumor mill is spinning. I don't want to say what rumor mill is saying, but it is possible that she probably did not want to go that far. And probably that may have cost her life. So this is where we are at in Trinidad and Tobago. So if it is true that the allegations that are being made against the said officer that they say is the mastermind, that he is a drug addict, if that allegation is true, we have to get mandatory drug testing for all officers. Because we have pipers in the police service. And it's easy to get yourself to happen. You line with the wrong crowd, and you end up in a situation whereby you're a smoker, and you want to take a pull in a weed, and they give you cocaine wrap up in the weed, and you become a drug addict. Many persons are introduced to cocaine like that, right? Because weed is legal, you could smoke a joint, so you're the police, you ain't get tired, but you're hanging around the wrong persons. And they know the game. You may not know the game as well as they know the game. But they know once they get you hooked, you come in for that crack, you come in for that substance. And then they have you bringing out guns there over a period of time. So it's a very sad situation that the nation has found itself in. And as Mr. Govera has said, this is a learning moment. This is a learning moment. Indeed, this is a learning moment. I'm just waiting to, I'm not going to the details of the story because the story was pulled from the Express. Right? This whole story where the write-up and everything was pulled from the Express. You understand? So I looked at it when it just came out. And apparently it was pulled because in the headline, all they mention is cop charged with Anushka's murder. Right? Kamla's stolen guns from San Fernando Municipal Station sold for months. So probably it is there. I'm seeing story by Mark Bassant. And I can't let me see that pull up this name. Something Lal is the two reporters there. So I'm not seeing the Anna Ramdas story anyway. So apparently the Anna Ramdas story was too graphic and explosive. I'm not going to venture and enter into that conversation. And here comes Anika. Welcome, my friend. Welcome,
Hi,
Anika.
good afternoon, Marcus. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago, and all those on our social media platforms, YouTube and TikTok. Welcome to another edition of State of Affairs. Thank you so much for joining us. Marcus, I realized that you were touching on these latest revelations that yesterday you attempted to venture into, and I told you to, in particular, there was one that I said that we cannot prove this. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a dead lady. And yes, I know that we cannot slander or libel someone that's dead. But I don't think that we can prove
I won't be in
anything
good taste.
regarding regarding that specific comment about having relations with someone. We cannot prove that. So I don't want to go down that road. That being said, over the last 24 hours, there has been a lot of allegations and a lot of revelations coming to light. And one of them, I would say, is that there are two main points. Number one, PMKB Plus at this turning ceremony for the Hilton Garden Inn in San Fernando indicated that, based on possibly she was briefed that this incident um, had started about 8 months ago. That being said, their claims and allegations that the officer that was murdered was involved in this um, in this particular gun racket, I would dub it. Now, if that is the case, if that is the evidence that's coming on, it means, Marcus, as I said initially, this is a very fluid matter, and this is why we must not be very emotive, because there are lots of details coming, and people were calling, and even the uncle, they want Mr. Alexander to be fired, and everybody was calling for this, and they want be fired now, because this person is responsible. But Marcus, if the evidence is what is coming to light is in fact true, then no one is the only person responsible for this is the people at the head of that organization.
True.
This has how could the Minister of Homeland Security be fired for this act? It makes no sense. And this is why I continue to say that we must take a very measured approach until the information comes and more comes. Because Marcus, this is a very disturbing security breach. Because what we have been told is that the allegations are that these guns these guns were being sold, some being rented, and then after apparently there was this disagreement. Someone said to continue on this basis, and someone is saying no, let us take all the guns now.
Hmm.
And these are officers, municipal police officers, and this is what they have found themselves in. And then there's also another nonsensical argument that I have seen on social media that I just scroll past. People are asking, why were the guns being stored there? Trinidad and Tobago, there could be many reasons why the guns were being stored there. Possibly there's no other place. There
Now,
can be many reasons.
I saw a headline where they're saying that the headline stated that all of the guns are going to now be deposited with the TPS. They're stopping that where the corporations keeping the guns. All of the guns are going to be stored with the TPS now.
Yes, but the point is, not because the guns were being stored there gave the officers the right to do that.
Of course not.
So whether the guns are stored there or if they are stored at another facility, how could officers, regardless of the organization they are attached to, how can officers get themselves involved in this type of racket? I think this is the question, and this is why it is, as much as we grieve for a young woman whose life was snuffed out in this manner. If what is coming to light is indeed true, then these are the consequences
That's right.
for such actions.
These are the
And this
consequences for not having proper systems in place to secure the firearms and to vet the people who are going to work there and to have checks and balances. So these firearms going out of the station and nobody knew.
Marcus, in fairness, I will say sometimes people go in there not like that. So you can go in there vetted as a good individual, but for a
And they become
few pieces
corrupted.
of silver, yes, exactly, for a few pieces of silver, you have given up everything that you stood for, and you become a rogue element.
Correct.
So, yes, vetting is one part, because what we have seen, the San Fernando mayor indicated that this was someone dedicated, someone who had a good track record, and now we are these bombshell revelations indicating uh, a very dirty link, a very dirty link. So I think this is why I would say I have warned that dealing with emotions cannot help this situation, because her uncle was on the program and you gave him, he was there and he was very emotional, rightfully so. This is his niece. He should feel this way. We also have to put in the puzzle that uh, his niece is not alive to defend herself. We also
True.
have to put that in the puzzle. But the officers that are conducting this investigation, they have a lot of evidence that they would have pulled, a lot of camera footage, all different things. So this is why it is we are hearing about um, the dirty dealings behind the scene. And this is a very, I would say, this is very, very sad that officers, again, this, we have seen officers gone rogue in the past, Marcus. This is just another addition to what we are seeing.
Correct.
This is just another addition, because I think we all knew, we were all questioning from day one. On a normal day, the bandits are very brazen. But to walk into a police station, regardless of where it is, to walk into that station and execute a police officer, that I think is what people were trying to make sense of. Who would be so brazen to do that? And from the beginning, that's why we knew this was going to be an inside job. This was an inside job, and the details coming off now, we can confirm that this was an inside job. And now the allegations is that this lady that was murdered was part of this gun racket, and this is the end result. There was a breakdown. One party said, let's do it this way. Another party said, no, we want to continue doing it this way. And Marcus, this is the end result.
Well, that's it. Very, very unfortunate. But this is the state of affairs. Unfortunately, in Trinidad and Tobago, where money is king, a few pieces of silver is king. And when you're dealing with these type of things, as there's a famous quote that say, you can dance with the devil, but you cannot get to pick the tune. You understand? And she probably did not know the level at which this guy was, the capabilities of this man. And he probably, his pace probably, his life probably was threatened and he had to deliver. And if he did not deliver, he probably might have been killed. And that's how it goes in the world. So he said, well, better I go down that way and I end up in jail and I end up 6 foot under. So we
Marcus,
don't
but
know.
the question is, if it's true, why did this lady even get involved?
Well, I never to know. It's all manner of reasons, all manner of reasons, the
Why?
temptation, the excitement, she may have been in love. We don't know. I don't know. We could just speculate at this point. We can only speculate at this point. And all we have to say now, it is very, very, very unfortunate that it has to end up in it. Let me I come in just man. I'll take a call. Yes.
Hello, Trinidad and Tobago. Apparently, my colleague, he also got bumped off. So apparently, he's experiencing some difficulties. Give him 1 second. Let me find out what's happening behind the scenes. Trinidad and Tobago, we have a caller on the line. Caller, did you call to weigh in on what's taking place?
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon to Marcus and a pleasant good afternoon to you, Anika.
Good
And
afternoon.
and this is the splendiferous program called State of Affairs.
Thank you.
And you're talking about the state of affairs of Trinidad and Tobago
Yes.
and some of the problems that we face in Trinidad and Tobago. Marcus, how are you?
Marcus is offline at this point in time. He got a call at the same time.
What? Oh, Anika, how come Marcus has got a call whenever I call?
Professor, I have no idea. But we were discussing this matter with the young lady that lost her life, and my colleague and I we were speaking of the new details that that was revealed. In fact, PMKPB Plus yesterday is on record as saying that information that she received is that this incident was taking place, started 8 months ago. And I was indicating to my colleague that this is why I was taking a very measured approach and saying that we cannot be very emotive and continue thinking because we don't have all the details. It is a very fluid investigation, and we need to wait to see what information um, is coming to hand. So, how do you feel about it now that these are startling allegations?
And I hear you, but Anika,
Yeah.
here's what I think, right? I believe that the situation there in San Fernando is not a situation that happened yesterday or it happened 2 months ago. And let me be very, very, very clear. It appears to me that our police station is a bandit police station.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry to make it seem like that, but it's a bandit police station. And Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Visesa has stated very clearly that we are living in a lawless society, a lawless dump. And unless we do things differently, right, we cannot expect to get different results on doing the same things. There are significant consequences for your actions. And, I hate to say this in your program, you right? But I believe if these people are found guilty, right, we should have something special in Woodford Square. Well, I don't want to go to the extreme on your program, Anita. I don't want to put
Please don't. Please don't.
right? I don't want to get it in disrepute. Something should happen on Woodford Square with these individuals because this was brazen, right? This was planned, right? And it's sad that a young lady had to lose her life in this situation. But I will go even further, Anika, to say that I think there have to be a forensic investigation into this police station because there may be many arrests in this police station that was maybe illegal. And you know what the sad thing is, Anika, is that people want to blame the Minister of Homeland Security. They want to blame the government. They want to blame anything on the current government. But this is the question I will ask. Who, which corporation is that police station under? Who is the mayor, right, with respect to that corporation? I mean, these are some questions that need to be asked. I don't know if these questions could be easily answered.
Professor, I had just touched on it, and I said that the information that was revealed over the last 24 hours, people were calling the that KPB Plus should remove the Homeland Security Minister and the Defense Minister. Now, all that has gone down the drain because this was an inside job. And if this was an inside job, neither Mr. Alexander nor Mr. Sturge even KPB Plus is responsible for what took place.
But you see, Anika, we have to understand, right, that the chairman of the People's National Movement stated that every PNM is a propagandist of the PNM. This is his words, not my words.
He's on record as saying that.
Right, he's on record of saying that. So when
Yes.
you hear the propagandists of the PNM trying to blame the Minister of Homeland Security, trying to blame the Prime Minister, and even there was a person that stated that he was upset with the Prime Minister's statement regarding the separation of the TTPPS and the municipal police. He was upset because I was under the impression that that police station was a TTPS police station. And until the Prime Minister made that differentiation or clarification, I now understand that this was the municipal police station under the San Fernando City Corporation that was run by a PNM mayor. This is a PNM mayor that is responsible for this police station. So how could Anika and Marcus, when you come back, how could then the government be responsible for that? How come could Minister Stills be responsible for that? How could the Minister of Homeland Security be responsible for that? You see, part of the problem is that the PNM propagandists, when they come with the propaganda, they should do a little homework first, right, before they spew their propaganda.
Yes. Well, I totally agree there, because what we are seeing and the information coming to hand, it's that these officers are they went rogue. This is these officers.
Anika, you're being too nice.
Well, possibly.
You're being, you're being,
Possibly.
they are bandits. They are bandits, Anika. Let's be honest. Anika, how could a person lose their life and you break into your own police station and steal large rounds of ammunition? What were they going to do with that ammunition? They're going to use it for themselves, right? We could speculate that there's a great possibility that this was going to end up in the hands of other bandits. So it's bandits dealing with other bandits.
Well, the information coming out is that they were selling and renting the guns. So who were they renting these guns to? Who were they selling these guns to?
Bandits.
And then after, I saw earlier today, there's this narrative now being put into the public domain about why were the guns being stored there. I mean,
Why would it be stored in the police station?
I think I was telling my colleague a short while ago that sometimes, the arguments that are being put in the public domain, you just really need to just scroll past, because it makes no sense.
Anika, we have a saying, right? That say we call it the spaghetti theory. And the PNM propagandists throw things up on the wall and see what will stick. But for a fact, if you throw spaghetti up on the wall, it will stick. It will fall down to the bottom.
Yes.
You'll have to pick it up and throw it back up again.
Yes.
So the propagandists and them are trying all different type of methods in order to blame, right, who should not be blamed, right, and to let the people who should be blamed get a pass. But Anika, I'll say this before I go, right? It is important that the information that I am sharing here is factual information, right? Factual information in that what happened in that police station, at the end of the day, we are hoping that individuals suffer consequences of their actions. Because if there are no consequences for their actions, we are continuing the same way, and as explainer stated, we just can't go on this way. So Anika,
Thank you.
Thank you for taking my time, giving me the time to talk, and you have a splendid first.
Yes, same to you. Thank you. Thanks for calling. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Trinidad and Tobago, there we had it live on the air, the well-known Professor Wall Street. He called to weigh in on this very interesting development where we are learning that, unfortunately, the young corporal that lost her life, it's alleged now that she was involved in this very dirty gun racket at the municipal police headquarters in San Fernando. So the information is quite fluid, and as we continue to get more and more information, we will keep you abreast. But this is what it is we have before us. So please feel free to call in because we also want to hear from you what you think about it, how you feel about it. Because at first, people were calling for the head of Mr. Alexander and they were blaming, and people were all very, very emotive. But now we have new information. We would like to know if you still think, if you still believe that Mr. Alexander should be held for a crime that occurred, and it was an inside job, colleagues that have gone rogue, if he should be held accountable.
Yeah,
So,
but Mika, if I may interject,
yeah,
that ministry is under, at present, isn't it under Khadija Amin's ministry?
yes, it's under local government.
I don't see how Mr. Alexander comes in there.
Well, people were calling for him,
I mean,
even the uncle.
they don't understand the facts. The fact of the matter is, I wasn't aware that that was under. I know it was municipal, but I didn't know it was directly under the minister of local government. Right? I didn't know that. Well, it probably I missed it on my radar. Right? So you know when you hear police, anything is police, you would immediately believe it's under the auspices of the Minister of Homeland Security. So this
Yes,
is why the people on social media will make that statement. But that is how the whole thing fell down. It fell down, it fell through because there were no checks and balances that will normally come with the Ministry of Homeland Security. Like checking in at a certain hour, radioing in every station, calling somebody and saying, all right, everything regular and correct at this location at this time. And we good to go on, or having inspector come in there, show me all your guns, show me all the ammunition, what going on. There, all of those oversight things were not in place.
yes, but we have to remember former Commissioner of Police Captain Gary Griffith explicitly indicated that they have no oversight, and this
That's
is
also,
why it is
that's the
there.
point I'm making. And that this is
This
why the whole thing fall
Yes,
down.
this is
Because there
why
was
it
no
is they are now
oversight.
calling. They are now calling for a complete overhaul. In fact,
That's right.
people are people are questioning why the leader was sent on leave. If you cannot
Well, he
answer a
is
simple
ultimately
question,
responsible.
but if you cannot answer a simple question, the
Exactly.
media asked you how many guns. First, the top cop, the commissioner of police, Mr. Alistair Vero, indicated that it was 60 plus. This is the information that was given to him. When the media asked the leader, he thinks, he thinks, he thinks.
You don't know.
As a leader, you are supposed to have this documentation before
Correct.
you, indicating how many, the type, the serial number. This is the
Exactly.
information that as a leader you are expected to have. So I am not quite sure why there's even any discussion about why, because this is basic information. The buck stops with you.
That's right.
That is that is it. Quite
If
simple.
it was,
The buck
if it
stops
was
with
a
you.
private, let's say it was a corporation, like a bank or something, they would have fired him. They would have put him on leave. They would have fired him because
So
he failed in his fiduciary duty to see about making sure everything running copacetic. And if even he not micromanaging it, he was supposed to put people in place to do those checks and balances and report back to him. That is what management is about. Am I right?
You are correct because Marcus, even if you do not, even if I don't encourage micromanagement, but as a
No.
leader, you have to be able to know that if you have 100 guns, you must have that record giving you the name of the gun, the serial number, and you can do random checks to make sure if someone took it, if someone brought it back. Isn't that basic? Isn't that
That is
pretty basic?
fundamental.
That is basic. So I
Basic.
don't understand how this was happening over a period of 8 months and he did not know.
Hmm. He was just he running that thing on autopilot. And everybody realized that on autopilot they could do what they want, take what they want, go with what they want, nobody get in trouble. And that ultimately ended up in a murder in a police station. That is all it is. Because there were no checks and balances. And the person, in my estimation, who needs to do the checks and balances was him. Or put things in place to have the checks and balances done. He must know about delegated responsibility. So he does get his large portfolio, he getting a lot of money, he have a, whatever perks come with that job, and he feel everything is everything. And that's the whole general problem with people in the workforce in Tobago. I remember working in certain places that had certain things that was very serious. And when you try to operate on that level, the people around you is like, but what are you doing? Relax yourself now. And then things start to slip. And it's exactly like the whole culture of people in Trinidad and Tobago is one that that is very, very laid back. Right?
One that I have zero tolerance for, Marcus. Marcus,
Yeah.
and I think one of our followers, Miss Gonzalez, she's also saying that she thinks it's unacceptable that police guns were housed at the authority. If you have no oversight, why are your guns in that facility? We are shifting responsibility. Well, quite frankly, we would not have known that there was no oversight until until the incident took place,
That's
because
right.
in fairness, there was a leader there, so we would want to believe that this person was keeping track of what was taking place. So I do not. There are many reasons why these guns could have been at this facility, Miss Gonzalez. It could be that there was no room at other places and they had more storage, so they were keeping the guns there. We don't know. Those are the unanswered questions that we would want to get answers for. There are a lot of what and why, but I think that if a leader was in fact there, that person should have had at least a basic inventory, Marcus, a basic inventory, what goes out, what comes in.
Correct.
This is how I feel about this.
Yeah.
So,
It,
Marcus, I believe we have to wait to see how many people will be charged for this.
and the other thing that is happening to Anika, they may not even know how many guns were there. They don't know how many guns were taken.
Because they do not have basic inventory.
This is like the perfect crime. Oh my gosh. The bandits probably laughing because I doubt, I sure I heard at the beginning of this thing a larger number of the MX and the submachine guns. I thought I heard somebody say it was more than, I thought there was a figure, about 20 or something like that. I can't remember for sure, but it was not two. When I hear two now, I'm like, two, they said two, boy? And I doubt myself. So the police commissioner don't know because he don't know. He is giving him information to the police commissioner. Very, very square pegs and round holes. I would love to know who appointed him. Why he was selected to head up that place? What is his qualifications? Does he have anything in management? Or is it just rank and experience that have him in charge of this municipal situation?
This is a whole messy
A
situation.
whole mess, a whole mess, a whole mess. I mean, the concept of separating it from the TTPS was came under Rowley and Hines. I know that for sure. So I don't know where they got that concept from, but I never believed. I listened to them. They talk all kind of thing about the St. Hines in some place to watch how policing is done in some place in America and and that they put everything, the municipal police under the regional corporations, with their whole drive to bring these corporations into a situation where they could handle their own stories more or less. So you would have had like how we have in America, they have the the local police, and then you have the state, the state police. You know, the police go up in tiers in America, the police in, right? And it backfired. That plan did not work. I don't think that plan worked out properly because that thing was implemented without proper checks and balances. And this is the end result. You understand? So they put all these things in place and it just fall through the cracks. And life is lost very embarrassingly because police involved in the killing, police involved in everything. So now the police character now is, I'm talking about the character of the entire police service now, is in serious disrepute. The trust level has gone through the ground because I am seeing people on social media speaking out against this thing that I thought would have never, never, never spoken out against these things. Understand? Somebody is saying that somebody's a PNM. Who is a PNM?
They they're trying to claim the leader
Which leader?
because the leader is related to the former senator.
The of the municipal police.
Yes, that's right. The
Wow.
leader is the yes, that's right. So people have made that link, but the point is that if we are to be very candid, Marcus, how is it that a basic inventory, a basic inventory, is not available to accurately supply information, how many guns, the type of gun, when it went out, the date it came back in. That information, Marcus, should have been presented to the top cop, Mr. Guevara, on the day of the incident. So when he came to the media, he would have said that I was briefed. The information I have before me that was supplied by the head is that these are the guns that we are looking for. These are the serial numbers, and this is what we are going to be actively pursuing to make sure that we get these guns off the street. Do you understand what I'm saying, Marcus?
Of course.
So in this case, as I said, in Mr. Guevara, they are standing on the right side because he only came to us with information that was presented to him. I
Hmm.
don't understand what happened or why, but quite frankly, I don't understand why people are even questioning why he was sent on leave. That is a foregone conclusion. We reach
Yes.
from 60 to 100, who knows what.
Hmm, not easy. This place is a hot, 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 hot mess. Hot mess.
Yeah, I really don't know what to say. This is something that, of course, we commend the TTPS. They are moving very fast. Hopefully, this type of action um, we can see on many other cases because they are moving very swiftly with this. So I hope that they keep up the tempo and we'll be able to see this across Trinidad and Tobago.
Hmm. It's not easy.
It's a very sad day, Marcus.
Shame for my nation. I'm very, very ashamed. I'm very, very ashamed of what I am seeing happening in the in Trinidad and Tobago at this time. It's very, very unfortunate. Very, very extremely unfortunate what we are
Who
seeing
can
here.
you trust, Marcus? If police officers doing this,
And these are the ones that we are seeing. Anika, when I was about 11 years old, my mother let me read an article from the Daily Mirror where a police officer retired had a hotel apartment in La Beach, and two vans, black vans,
Marcus,
came.
excuse, the caller is again online. Could we just listen 1 second?
Sure.
Caller, you are online?
Yeah, this is Professor Wall Street. Marcus, how are you doing?
Why we don't send a link for Professor Wall Street and he come in and let us see his face? Our viewers, you have a phone, right?
Marcus, Professor Marcus asked if we could invite you in this studio. Would you
Yeah.
be able to join now?
Take a link and come in the studio and talk.
You're finishing at 4?
No, no, but can you join us now in studio? Would you be able to if we send you the link?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so callers, we have Professor coming in, so hold on. Marcus, I would send the link.
No problem. Yeah, we got the audio a bit soft. Yeah, so my mother let me read this article in the TNT Express. And the retired police officer was approached by two black vans pulled up there. I think they were Cherokee Jeeps at the time. And men came out and gunned down the police officer. And when I read the story, because the retired police officer had some links to drugs. And when I looked at that as a young boy, I was like, what? Police in drugs? So I
And
said,
this
Mommy,
was how many years ago?
years ago. And right under that cupboard there, I have the Scott drug report. I have a physical copy of it. So we here in Trinidad, the police service in Trinidad, I've done lives on my personal TikTok and so on concerning the Scott drug report. Yeah, it is clear that the people of Trinidad and Tobago is inherently corrupt. People are corrupted. The police service in Trinidad and Tobago is corrupted. The police service in Trinidad and Tobago. I've done
Trinidad
lives
and Tobago, we have joined in the discussion Professor Wall Street,
clear
the well-known, and
people of
he decided to join us in studio because we all
corrupt.
want to weigh in on this
People
very
are
shocking, matter. Professor, thank you for joining us.
Professor, no school today?
Yeah, are you hearing me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Marcus, yeah, no school today. Today are off, Marcus. But Marcus,
Don't address me. Don't address me.
No, I'm gonna.
Don't come at me. Don't come at me at
No,
all. So yeah.
Marcus, I
Don't
was
come at
gonna
me.
say,
Don't ask me
Marcus,
nothing.
I'm
Make
gonna
a
need
comment
that.
and we'll have a discussion.
But you
Don't
ain't
ask me nothing, please. Do not
Marcus,
ask me anything, please. Don't address nothing to me. You are attacking me. Do not
Let
attack
us
me, please.
talk. Wait. Let him make his
No, we
comment
have
and
had
then we will.
doctors and lawyers and former
Let
Minister of
us
National
weigh in
Security, and
on
nobody ever addressed me. Do not bring
let
no
us
question
weigh
to
in
me.
on the matter.
We're in
Professor,
the
can
matter,
we hear
please.
what you have to
And we'll
say?
have a smooth sailing. Don't come at me, my
Professor,
friend. Don't
can we
try to
hear
come
what
at me.
you Professor,
I can
can we
humble
hear
on
what you
one
have
neck.
can we hear what you have to say, and then afterwards we will respond. So weigh in on the discussion, please.
That's right.
Let me say a pleasant good afternoon to you, Marcus, and
Good afternoon.
a pleasant good afternoon to Anika,
Good
and
afternoon.
this splendiferous program called the State of Affairs. You know, you all have a fantabulous program here, and it's always a pleasure for me to join this program with Anika and Marcus. And I heard certain statements that was made regarding that incident there in San Fernando. But what is important to note, and I don't know if Anika, if your co-host heard my statements previously, and I
He was
also
on a call, so I'm not sure.
and I also heard his statements. But it seemed to me that the individual have to understand and sometimes take off his red sunglasses and see the forest from the trees. Because when you have on red sunglasses, sometimes it's difficult to see clearly, right? And I'm coming into the program because I think it's an important program, and I just wanted to give my opinion. And what is important to note is that municipal police station is under the remit of the P&M. It's a P&M mayor and a P&M San Fernando City Corporation. So when those who are in support of red want to blame the Minister of Homeland Security, Minister Searched, Prime Minister Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, there's no facts to prove that accurate. But they can try and spin it and turn it however you want. And the more information comes out, Marcus, the more it tells you that this was a bandit police station under the P&M. And this didn't happen yesterday. This wasn't something that was happening yesterday. But you know what? The current government, led by Prime Minister Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, had to come and clean up the P&M mess, Marcus. Yes, have to come and clean up the P&M mess. And it would be nice sometimes, Marcus, if you become more balanced in your approach. And it seems like you're upset that when this program, I don't understand why. Because I don't come here with misleading information. I bring the facts, the whole facts and nothing but the facts. But sometimes the facts are difficult to deal with.
Wall Street, let me put you on pause. Let me tell you something. This
Okay.
year is a very serious program where we discuss facts, right? And you're still coming to call my name in your mouth concerning what I say and what I don't say. So
But what
unfortunately,
facts
I
have
have to
I
put you
spoken,
on,
Marcus?
just now. I want to put you on pause. I am willing for you to come on the program and share whatever views you want. But you are coming to say, I am biased, and coming to point fingers at me. This is not how we operate on State of Affairs, my friend. They may do that on 91 or whatever other station it has go to. But you see here, if you have facts and you want to say, well, XYZ is the case, and it's because a PNM person was put there, put the facts on the table. But don't come here and tell me what I supposed to do, what I ain't supposed to do.
Marcus, that's what I
Listen,
just
I
did.
finished. Let me finish, please.
Okay, go ahead.
When I finish talk, you will talk. When you're in your college and you're before your students, you and your students talk at the same time? No, they don't. You talk and then they talk. Not so? Right. Let me finish talk for me, please. Right? When you make your contribution, Anika will make a contribution and I will make my contribution. I have plenty discussions with people who are Dr. C. Prasad, Dr. this one, Dr. that one. Come on. Don't be coming here and go at with you again. If you call my name again and call him a name and say I saying this and I saying that, you will be cut off. You gotta call on Anika phone. You can't call on my phone. Okay? Continue, please.
Okay.
Professor, I would like to weigh in here and say that before you rejoined, I made it very, very clear that there is no basis for even raising the conversation asking for the head of the Mr. Alexander or
And
Mr.
Anika, I
Stooge.
supported you on that point. So his point about me being a PNM, showing my
There
clericalism,
there was
mute.
no basis. Initially, people were
Come
calling
on.
and they were saying, Professor, that these ministers should be fired. In fact, in fact, the uncle of the deceased is all over saying this, right?
Yeah.
They are saying this, but now we have clearly seen that there is no basis for this call. There is none whatsoever, Professor.
So Anika, uh, 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 so let me just ask, Anika, is
Yes,
that police station under the San Fernando City Corporation?
yes.
Is
And
that
it's also under the remit of the Ministry of Local Government.
okay? Is that San Fernando City Corporation a PNM mayor?
Yes,
Okay, so it is true that people have called for the head of the Minister of Homeland Security, Minister Wayne Sturge, and that the UNC government is to blame for what happened in that precinct.
yes, that was the discussion that was initially that is the conversation. People were saying that they must go, they must be fired, and this is what they were saying.
Didn't the Prime Minister have to come and clear up the difference between the municipal police and the TTTPS?
Well, she did.
Okay, so Marcus, you are calling your name. Marcus, how is that not facts?
Brother,
How is that not facts? You tell me when I come on the program, come with facts. When I come with facts, it seems like you come in with fiction.
I come with fiction. You see,
Yes.
Anika, better you deal with that fella, yes? I ain't able to.
So let us continue. What we are saying, Professor, you are very Professor Mike. You have to stay here in studio with me because my colleague, like he has left. But Professor, what we have seen is that the more information comes to light.
I have
Oh,
to
he's
clap
back. Thank you so
because
much.
he's comical.
Thank you so much. What we are
But
seeing,
Anika, one other point.
yes,
The former person in charge of that precinct, Sukram Singh. I don't know if your co-host knows who is a significant other, but maybe when we finish, when you finish, and when I come off, he could go and get some facts who that person is. You see,
No, you tell us you're here. We want the
it's a
facts if you
PNM,
know.
please,
it's a
please,
PNM,
yes,
And what
but
happened
let's
if it's a
not call
PNM?
anybody
it's a
name.
PNM.
We are
And what
not
happened with that?
we are not calling
Are
anyone
you
names.
racist against PNM? You're PNM racist?
Marcus, you cannot be racist against PNM. Come on, man.
You're behaving like one.
Marcus, oh God, Marcus, you cannot be
You have a
racist.
problem with PNM and you come from a PNM area. Your grandfather was a PNM.
You see, Marcus, let me don't go down that road now, man.
Your father was a PNM. Your mother was a PNM.
And Marcus,
Everybody was PNM.
and let me
You
say
hate
this.
PNM. You hate
Let me
yourself.
say this. Marcus, I come from the community of Chumaka Laventil.
Yes, yes,
A
a
community that have
Lamentarian.
never forsaken the PNM. And it was the most dilapidated
Yes, it
constituency
was
in
dilapidated
the
place.
history under
And
the
you're
PNM.
a doctor and you never see about your own community.
That's
Where
not
you
a
bill for
fact.
the community?
That's not a fact, Marcus. Is that a fact? That
Where you bill?
Marcus, oh God, you see, you tell me do come for you, and I ain't come for you, right? But I
Let
want
me
to
talk
ask
about the
you a question.
news. Let me talk about the news, soldier.
No, wait a minute. You go talk. There are three
Wait a
communities
minute.
in
Let's
Trinidad
go
and
on. Let the Prime
Tobago.
Minister open a nice place here with 100 and how much rooms, hotel. Let's talk about that. Progress.
Before we switch gears, I would like us just to before we switch gears, this story has so much to
That
do.
situation to talk about and all. Come on.
We
That's
But
plenty
before
to
Anika,
we
talk about.
switch.
And they're wasting time.
one
Well,
minute.
Calling no
Marcus,
name.
Marcus, are you sure you want to go there with Professor? If you want to go there, I would let Professor lead. You can bring it back up and
Professor,
Professor
how many
agreed.
now that nothing reach yet, there are things to go down first. You have plenty
Okay,
things that come out. There's over
but
40 slides I have here. Let
but
us move
now
on.
we are saying we all agree, I think, that it's very clear that we can call it for what it is, that the government is not to blame for what took place at that police station.
And Anika, Marcus agrees with that, right?
Of
Yeah,
course, but I said so. Everything under Khadija Amin. And how could you blame Khadija Amin and the guy who is supposed to be managing it did not put systems in place to manage that situation?
So who would you blame, Marcus? Who would you blame?
The manager who was there, the guy who was put on leave, Mr.
The,
Is him.
the PNM manager.
But if you want to say PNM manager, you
Oh, but
PNM
he's
that
a
was from now
PNM.
until no problem.
Is a PNM? If he's a PNM,
Well,
is a
all right,
PNM
it's a
wrong with that?
PNM, and so what? So people in industry who is PNM don't make mistakes too.
No,
UNC members don't
Marcus.
make mistakes.
No, but the point is
But
this.
man, you better hope no bacchanal about UNC business in bus out there. Because you gonna be a laughing stock. Because everything you bring up, you have to bring politics in it. We are discussing current affairs. This
But
is a
current
news
affairs
and
is
current affairs
politics.
program.
Current
This is not
affairs
a
is
political program.
yes, and current affairs is politics, Marcus. What are you
Yeah,
talking
but
about?
you're focusing on PNM. PNM is not in power. The UNC is in power. And let me tell you something.
And that is the problem,
Wait,
Marcus.
no, wait. You keep raising that point.
Okay.
The people in China, Tobago, Professor, they don't see. They're not seeing Subrat Singh, whoever his name is. They're not seeing that. You know. All they are seeing is UNC is in power, PNM is not in power. And the UNC is ultimately responsible. That is what they are seeing. So
Marcus, but
Marcus.
that narrative is flawed. The
Correct.
government is not
it's I'm not
responsible
saying
for
absolutely
this.
flawed.
Listen carefully. I am not saying no, but that is what they are doing.
But it's
And
flawed,
when,
Marcus.
listen, thousands of people look at us on TikTok. And when they see you spewing this kind of agenda all the time and not being objective, you said, I'm not objective, but you're
I'm not
objective.
objective. How was I not objective,
Everything.
Marcus?
Come on, man. Deal with the person. What you have to bring up, if he's a Assemblies or a Baptist or a Christian or a PNM, what have to
But
do with
that's
anything?
facts. Marcus,
He
that's facts.
made a mistake. He erred. And if he was in the private sector,
Marcus, and a person is dead. A person is dead.
Yes, a person is dead. And he erred. He was supposed to be checking and making sure that the things are well accounted for. And if he was in the private sector, it could have been PNM, UNC, Baptist, Alien. If he did not do his job, he would have been removed. And that is the facts. So people didn't care at this point if he was a PNM or he was related to a
Really,
PNM.
Marcus? And why they were trying to blame the UNC for the situation? Why were they trying to blame the UNC if people didn't
Because
care?
they didn't have all the facts. I'm not making excuse for them. It's that they were all emotive and they did not have all the facts. And initially,
people are going on emotions.
And they didn't
this
even
is
know the facts. Why they couldn't
Professor,
wait
this
until
is
all
why
the
it
facts come
is.
to point? Why it couldn't wait until all the facts came? Why did Gwendolyn ever see?
I don't know why many people were just
Why
making
did Gwendolyn
statements.
ever see went out and was blaming the government and asked for the two ministers to remove? Why? Why you think that was?
He isn't pain. The man came on this program and cried. I interviewed him a couple of days ago. Tears come out. The man relative is dead. He's a man still going to PTSD, I'm sure. He was involved in the coup. And then to know you're proud of your family in the police service, and then your family is murdered in a station. And
it's okay for him to blame the government. It's okay for him to blame the government.
I never say it is okay. What I am saying is he has a right to grieve. And that is, if that is the way in which he is grieving, that's the man's prerogative.
I have no problem with
Marcus, I think that we can call it for what it is right now. I think based on the information and the daily revelations that are now coming to hand, the call by Mr. Eversley that Mr. Alexander and Sturge and whoever should be fired, it has no basis.
And it was politically motivated.
Absolutely no basis.
It was politically motivated.
That's how my brother. People that signed up cause the government stink on social media.
Yeah, but
I
who are
just
these people?
Why?
they are
Marcus
nobody,
Dr.
they are
Winford
nobody, they are
James.
nobody, they are
No,
nobody,
they are
Marcus
eh? And they are
Dr.
PNM
nobody.
workers.
Winford
They are
James.
And they
PNM
will
May I
people.
vote.
say,
They are PNM
Marcus,
people.
Marcus
It
Dr.
doesn't matter,
Winford,
they are getting attention.
What do you mean it
You
doesn't
Marcus,
understand
matter?
social media?
Marcus,
Thousands of people are viewing their videos.
Dr. Winford James came on this program, the very
Yeah.
learned Winford James. And we went through pains to explain to people the noise you are hearing on social media is not necessarily that's reflected at the polls. The UNC has a
No.
base of over 350,000.
So to the
The-
PNM,
That's right. The views of a few disgruntled people on social media. Dr. Winford James informed us that it really has no impact at the polls. So I think that we must, yes, they have their voice, everybody have a
that is
voice.
why our learned friend here, our doctor friend here, should not be mentioning it. Why is
No,
it
but
big deal?
no, but he mentioned in particularly Mr. Eversley, and Mr. Eversley was on this program. So
Yes,
let's
but
call it for
Evans is
what it is.
emotional at this time. He lost a relative.
Mr. Eversley was on this program, and he was saying that these people should be fired. Yes, he has every right to grieve his niece. But what we are saying now, that based on the information that has come to hand, there is no basis. And I was saying from the beginning, we cannot be emotive. We have to wait. It's a very fluid
That's
situation.
right.
And I was saying that from day one. Let us wait. It's things are moving quickly, but of course, emotions got a little better, and this is the end result. And we have to call it for what it is. The government cannot be blamed for this.
And I think anytime I come in this program, Marcus emotion does get the best of him. I don't know why, but
But
somehow.
Professor,
I
I
don't like,
want
I
you
don't
to
like
stay on.
sympathy. That's
I
all I will
want you
say.
to please stay on as we move on to the other news because Marcus has some very interesting slides. I would like to hear your comments.
Okay.
Marcus, let's move on to the other slides, please.
Right. So we have here, we've seen a lovely picture with Kamala Prasad Bissasan, an investor in South Trinidad. Did you read that story with Doctor?
Yeah, I read that, man.
Yes,
Good man.
this is a good news
The
story
new
for
They
Hilton
me.
were,
coming
they
in.
were breaking grounds to the hotel for the new.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Hilton
yeah,
Garden Inn.
yeah.
So that is
and
very
they are
positive.
expecting
Another
to have a
another
lot of
another
jobs.
UNC initiative to move the people of Trinidad and
Of
Tobago to
course.
our
The
next level.
UNC's and government. Who else initiative could it be, Doctor?
Yeah, well, the
Duh.
PNM could take credit for it too, because the PNM does take credit for everything.
Duh.
Anything that the UNC do, the PNM does want to take. We had 3 point something billion in revenue, right? The PNM wanted to take credit for that too, Marcus. You know that?
So the headline here is $220 million Hilton Garden Inn to create 550 jobs. This is a very positive development. And we need
Very
all the
positive, and I
jobs
think
we
people would
can
be
get.
happy for the jobs. Very, very happy to find jobs.
Yeah, and maybe some of those people from Petrochin who in 2018 that the PNM get rid of, maybe someone could get some of them jobs.
Yeah, but all those people got a large amount of money to go home with them.
No,
So don't come
Marcus,
with that.
maybe some of them still need some job and some of them go get that 550 instead of them.
Curfew and capital. Curfew versus capital. Expert warns of economic fallout if tighter measures
Yes,
implemented.
Marcus, wait on the
Marcus,
screen. I ain't
I
seen
said
it.
that too.
Wait on the
You ain't
screen,
seen it?
Marcus. No, I ain't seen
It's
it.
on the screen.
Hold up.
Marcus, I said that too. Remember on Monday when you spoke of it, I said no. I said I disagree with the curfew because this will have significant impact on the economy.
Yeah, that's my argument was that the government is probably way in between having the curfew and impacting the capital, the businesses. And I said that the former government, the PNM government, would have done the same thing in that they did not want to have curfew after a while because they realized that certain businesses would have been negatively impacted. And then we are already in a tight fiscal situation, so they don't want to get into that scenario of calling for the curfew. 6 or whatever, and then businesses close down, people not paying rents, and businesses suffering.
Well, Marcus,
Right?
this just shows the astute ability of Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar. That's what it
Yes,
shows. The
yes.
astute leadership.
WPC plot
Not like,
thickens.
Marcus, just a minute here. Not like your leader, who's ranking the current government 3 out of 10 after 1 year in
Right.
office. You
All
bring
right,
up that story
PNM,
too?
PNM unhappy with state of TTMES.
Oh, that's
Yes.
him. That's the PNM fella right
That's
there.
the guy there, right?
That's the PNM guy. Yeah, that's him.
He's a PNM guy. Wow.
Yeah, that's the PNM.
So all you come in a whole year and then organize it. And all it is UNC. Who's supposed
No,
to
Marcus,
Oh,
ask
wait
the
now,
mayor of
wait.
Santo
but-
Let me make this point.
Yeah,
Don't
ask
make
the
this
mayor of
point.
Santo Fernando.
Marcus,
They
that is
were in power for a whole year. They brought in Govaro and they didn't change this PNM man out
no,
to put a
but
proper man.
Marcus,
UNC
be
man,
very
to
careful
make
what you're
sure
saying.
that somebody got it.
Marcus,
But
slow
UNC
down.
is the blame.
Marcus,
He's
please.
under the San
Marcus,
Fernando City Corporation, Marcus.
Marcus, please be very careful. There is no need. There was no. That would not have been a right move, Marcus. Then that would have been a
What is
move
the
of-
right move? No, when UNC came in, they slashed everybody through to his PNM.
No,
And they
Marcus.
clear people, and that is their right.
Marcus, that's not fact.
No,
That's
Marcus.
not
No,
fact.
That
Marcus.
is their
That's
right.
fiction.
They remove all boards. Then they
Marcus,
remove
No,
all boards.
Marcus. No,
Oh,
Marcus.
Marcus, oh,
No,
Marcus.
wait. Anika. Marcus.
Marcus,
UNC at fault.
that is
What about
false
PNM?
information.
UNC at fault.
Marcus.
UNC responsible for that woman because they moved this man. And
Marcus.
who's that PNM?
Marcus, but how could you make that statement? This is a
How you
police
mean?
officers. The
You
government
want
is not
everybody
hiring. Yeah,
When
Marcus,
everyone move Govaro, Govaro
Marcus,
supposed to know, hey, that man there is a PNM man there. Hey, let me get rid of here and put a proper man.
Marcus,
with no
I'm very
idea, really,
disappointed
who
at
don't
the
know what he's
tone.
doing, because the life of the constable.
Marcus,
I mean,
how
the
could
corporal. That's
Marcus,
all.
how could the government?
Hey, touche. Let's move on with the headlines. They have
That
plenty
makes no
headlines to go.
sense. That's a very flawed
Alright,
statement,
that
Marcus.
project in South. We covered that already. Let's go. PDO is issued for penal due held in Sabita's investigation. And this is the pretty face lady that beating up people down in penal. Doctor, you know about this story?
Yeah, I was watching you. Because Marcus, let me say this to Marcus.
I wonder if she's a PNM or UNC.
No, I don't know if she's a PNM or UNC.
Exactly. Stop
Marcus,
that. We can't
no.
focus on what people is.
Marcus, I realize
She
what I
from
like
San
about you.
Francisco. That is a PNM or UNC stronghold, not so?
Marcus, what I like about you, right, is that you're very good at shifting the goalposts. You see, when you put street
I
trees
learned that from listening to you on Cheyenne program.
Marcus, when you put
Let me go to the main thing. All right, all is yours now.
Marcus, you really put that up on the screen, boy? You put that up on the screen? Really and truly? He slams government over crime situation. Do you know, Marcus, under his watch, Trinidad was ranked the top 10 in crime in the world? You know under his watch? You know about that, right, Marcus? How could you, Marcus, ever say anything about him and have him come and talk about crime? And Marcus, let me tell you something else. You ever hear about the transparency?
If the
No, but
man
listen
says
to this.
something,
Wait.
it's just right that we cover it. If you
One-
want to
one
elaborate
minute.
him, go ahead again.
No,
You comment
yeah.
and you do your thing.
But let me ask you a question. Do you know, you ever heard of the Transparency Corruption Perception
Don't
Index?
ask me no question, partner. Make
Oh, no,
your
I'm just
comment.
asking if you know.
Don't ask me nothing.
All right.
You make a
So
comment.
if you didn't know, let me tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago was ranked 101 on the Transparency Corruption Index, the highest in the history of Trinidad and Tobago under that fella you have on the screen there. The highest, 101. So when you go come and talk about slamming the government with respect to crime situation, you have no, not you, but your former political leader have no moral authority. And this is facts, when you get a chance, go and look at the Corruption Perception Index. You will see and put the highest ranking for Trinidad and Tobago, 101. Right? Facts. This fella here, and under his watch, When he was in power, the second and third highest murders in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. This fella here. This fella. So when you want to talk about the crime situation, he has no moral authority. None. Zero. Not. You know, you play for West Indies, make a duck. You know it's a duck, right? In cricket, when you make a duck. Not a duck when you go outside and the dog go quack quack. So that fella have no moral authority to talk about crime situation. I just gave some facts there.
I was very surprised when I saw it because I myself, I was thinking, but why? Just why are we making these statements? But I don't know. It's all for politics. And quite frankly, why is he speaking and not the opposition leader, Penny Beckles? Where is Miss Penny Beckles? He has no authority to speak on these matters. We want to hear from the opposition leader, which is Miss Penny Beckles.
Anika, you really think Marcus leader could say anything against what the former has to say? Pena just sit down in a corner like little Jack corner. She can't come out and say anything. When this fella talk, everybody had to get in line. You understand? For example, have Penelope Beckers, the opposition leader, make any statement regarding the former calling the prime minister a derogatory name? Have she ever made any statement regarding this
Not to
statement?
date. Not to date.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I Marcus, what about you? You think she should have made a statement?
Like you running the show?
No,
Boy, make a comment now, boy.
Marcus, as a guest, we
Yes, I guess.
I
But
don't
that's
let
exactly why I had to ask the questions for this
No,
whole video.
Marcus,
showing
when guests
police
coming on
all
our
over
program,
the
them
table.
could ask question too. It's a free-flowing thing, Marcus.
So you come in here and make it up the rules.
No, we have a program. I
Boss,
come on,
I have
I
my
come on,
agenda to go through, you know. I have my agenda here.
I come
We
on
as
you and
something that
Anika
is in
program.
the country. Right now, the police and them behaving very ridiculous. I saw a video with this guy, it has alleged that this guy is slapping up a young child and roughing up the lady in the house. That video came out on social media. So these police officers, popular police officer in Tobago, seems to be kind of a very big and strong guy, but he uses his hands a lot.
Yeah, but that's why I think that you have to name them and shame them because this cannot be condoned. This cannot be condoned on any grounds.
Correct.
Maybe she did not have, maybe she wasn't able to protect herself.
Yeah. So you think he should have had a gun?
I don't know what was the facts of this matter.
It's a domestic problem, a domestic dispute, and some men sleep with their hands, which is wrong. And I have been in similar situations, and I prefer to run than to strike. You know, so it happens to everybody.
Thank God, Marcus, because it's under no circumstances a man is supposed to raise his hands, under none.
That's right.
So it's a good thing that you ran.
Yeah, I had to run and jump in my car and drive away. That's not the best. JSC finds youth employment gaps, training without jobs. So that's a gap that the government, the UNC government, has to fill. The former government had a lot of programs for the youth, and my wife was also involved in one of those programs about UE, and we still have all her notes here. So eventually, we will, when the money is around to implement what she learned up there, we will implement some of the shade house programs and so on. I was a bit perturbed as to why they would stop it if the funding was coming from Guyana to have people trained in the shade house program, but the government knows what they are doing. They are restructuring according to how their mandate, their style, and let's hope that after this JSC, they put things in place for the youths in Trinidad and Tobago, especially the urban youth.
Well,
And
we
the
would
youth
have
who are
we
planned.
would have heard, Marcus. Of course, you asked why did they stop it? A new government was elected in April 28th.
And it goes right back to my point.
They
When a new
had
government
every
comes
right.
in,
So
There's
they
no
need to look
continuity.
at how these programs were set up. And
Yeah.
I would have heard very clearly yesterday, KPB Plus, when the question was put to her, she said that we have a lot more to do. She said, I
That's
understand that it's a bit slow, but we have a lot more to do. And she did indicate that 2026 will be the year of delivery. And I don't speak for Miss KPB Plus, I want to make this very clear to our viewers. But we would have seen over the last few days there seems to be a lot of activity taking place, and even before that, as they are about to mark their 1 year in office. So I will say that we would see jobs on the campaign trail. They promised 50,000 jobs, and they know that if this is not done, we will hold them to account. We are
you know what they're
seeing
saying
on
on
a daily
social media,
basis.
right?
Pardon me.
What people are saying is that the government cut 50,000 jobs and then they will put back 50,000. So
Oh,
No, but that's
fuck.
what people are saying.
that's
Again,
what
we
people
don't
are
know
saying.
that.
I am just
Anika,
saying what people are saying.
Anika, sorry, I cannot be on a program and allow Marcus with that
All right, you
PNM
want to leave?
propaganda
You right
about
there?
No, he's not
50,000
leaving. He's commenting.
about 50,000 jobs. That is propaganda at its fullest.
That's
There
right.
is no facts, none, zero, no doubt, to show that the current government cut 50,000 jobs. And that is
Uh,
propaganda.
Yes, and quite frankly, Marcus, even when you read the editorials, they are all in support that CPAP was revamped, CPAP, because it needed a strong government to remove this CPAP, to remove this URP the way how it was being run. There is no secret. There are people on record that they they revealed that there was ghost gangs inside there. So why are
most
people
most
upset?
of these work programs they have these situations. Not that it is right, but I can tell you that from my experience with CPEP, my brother worked with CPEP with persons from the St. Joseph area that were in fact they came in under Mr. Jack Warner. And if I go to tell you the kind of reports that I have gotten, how that thing works, they hire people that are kind of that do can't write, can't read properly, and then when the people get fed up, they work hard, they leave, but the people retain the cards, and that's how they run the gangs, the ghost
Marcus,
gangs.
that's why
You
it's
know?
no more. So
That's right.
people
People
cannot
take
be
advantage
upset.
of it on both sides of the fence, and I
This
can't
is
handle it.
why these programs are no more. So to
Yes,
say that
statistically,
uh,
there are statistics that the under the UNC they spent more money in CPEP than under the PNM. So that's the
Marcus,
situation.
we are in 2026. Oh, no, sorry, I forgive me. Is it? Yes, 2026. And CPAP, it has been disbanded and it's a step in the right direction. So I
Yes.
think the JSC, yes, in fact, there will be a gap now because things are being restructured. But I am pretty sure that jobs are going to come on stream. Yesterday alone, we are expecting 500 new jobs. And on a daily basis, I am seeing Minister of Works, Miss Julie John. Yesterday, she also rolled out another another tranche of workers that they were going through orientation to be able to begin cleaning and doing different things. So they are making sure that these people that are at the lower end of the ladder, they are now giving them that employment. And then after, I don't speak for the government, I don't speak for KPB Plus, and let me make it very clear, I definitely do not speak for Miss John, but I am just looking at how it works. If these at the lower end of the ladder are taken care of, then pretty soon I believe those at the middle level, they will now start to fill those permanent positions that what they indicated that there are several vacancies in the system. Everyone wants to get a job at this point, but just a little, just give them a little more time. It's only 1 year, and they needed to go in there to clear up to see what's taking place. And then I believe things will start to roll off in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't live
Anika,
there, but I strongly believe so.
Anika,
That's how it goes.
if you
Yes?
compare and contrast the former Minister of Works under the PNM to Mrs. Jolene John, who's been in office 1 year, is like chalk and mango.
Professor, anybody
Yes,
that knows the track record
she's a worker. She's a worker.
Miss John, regardless of where she sits, that's her trademark.
That's her trademark.
That's her trademark.
Yes,
Anyone that knows her,
Marcus, you
and I
agree
have
with
had the privilege in my former job.
Jane
I would have had,
Jordan
yes,
is
I
like this.
would have
She's
had
a
that, and I
very
would have
hardworking
interviewed
lady.
her on several times. And what we are seeing here is this is not an act. This is who the individual is. She
That's
is
it.
on the ground, boots on the ground, hard worker, and her day normally starts.
O'clock
Very,
in the
very
morning.
early. In fact, Professor, I do not know if you are aware, some days when you have to get interviews with her, you had to be at that office at 6 a.m.
Correct.
Because if you are not there at 6 a.m.,
That's the turn.
that's it. So she is a very hard worker, so definitely.
So let me say congratulations to Marcus. Marcus,
But
you're not biased.
you don't know me. You don't know
you-
me very well, and
you-
you make accusations all
no,
sorts.
Marcus, is not
Let's stay
accusations.
focused on the facts. Let's headline here. Tobago construction slumps as cement sales plunge 41%.
That the
And I
government
think this
fault
would
too,
have
right?
been.
That the government
Yeah,
fault
let me
too,
finish my
Marcus.
statement now. Let me finish now. You'll get it too. Right? You'll get it. Right? I think this may have been attributed to the switching out of the fast ferries, and they would have had a little slump. Right? So I think things will come back on stream because Miss John again is on top of that situation. Even when the ferry was got into a little accident, it was quickly fixed, went out back for sea trials, and the ferry was quickly put back into service and serving the people of Trinidad and Tobago. All right,
Marcus,
so I believe this is temporary.
Marcus, do you know that ferry situation was
Oh my
propaganda
God.
too?
But man, we delivered this headline here.
I'm talking about this. Do you know? You talk about the ferry, Marcus. Do you know Miss John had us to go on the port and show people that trucks, the ferry was leaving and the ferry wasn't even full. There was space for anything to go from Trinidad to Tobago and from Tobago to Trinidad. That was PNM propaganda. But
Yes,
you
I
missed that.
revealed it, and I also revealed it
Yes,
on
we
all of
spoke
our
about that here on this
pages.
program.
Oh,
We
It
showed the
was
video here on
revealed.
this
It
program.
was
right.
revealed on our pages.
So when you're showing this here, Marcus, and talking about the situation with the ferry, you're misleading people,
I
man.
just told you because they were switching out the ferries, there may have been a slump in the amount of construction
Slump.
goods going to Tobago.
Marcus, you know why it's a slump? You know why it's a slump? Eh?
Look, let's move on to the next headline for
All right.
please. After that,
Let me get the next one.
people commend us because we don't argue on
Oh,
this
God,
program.
you're actually going to show this too? Government yet to deliver on major campaign promise
Then
of
for
jobs.
you, talk,
You,
man.
Marcus, you going to show this? Really? Eh? Marcus? That other and thing you get from PNM3. Like you just only use PNM3 alone.
So there is this topic regarding these jobs. Professor, people on the ground, some of them on the ground believe that they have not received jobs as quick as they want.
And I
But
agree
I
with you.
don't think that they are really understanding how it works because,
Correct.
yeah, they are not understanding this. Would you like to weigh in on this, Professor?
No, what has amazed me though is that when the Fourth Estate put up these type of headlines to mislead the people, right? And then State of Affairs comes with this kind of information. Government get to deliver on major campaign promise of jobs. You know what that reminds me of? In my class, I just do an experiment. It's called the 90-10, 90%, 10% experiment, right? You say 9 times 1 is 9, and up to 9 times 9 is 81, and then 9 times 10 is 91, and you have one wrong. And that one wrong is 10%. But you know what? You focusing on the one rather than focusing on the 9.5 right. You see, this year, this government been in office 1 year, the 28th. And you go tell me the government yet to deliver on major campaigns, promise of jobs? You want them to do miracles that the PNM couldn't do?
Yeah, I think it's very unfair because they set 58,000 jobs over their period. So I really believe that what people are asking for, no, it's not practical.
And you know what that's like? There was another headline yesterday. I don't know if you all show it, but the amount of houses the current government promised in the manifesto. Another misleading headline there. We wanted to produce, I think, whether it's 20,000 houses or 100,000, whatever amount of houses in 1 year. It's unfair.
Yeah, it's totally unfair, and especially given, I would like to touch on that housing issue because the track record of the UNC government with these houses. First things first, I want to put it on record that this under the last regime, I'm not quite sure even how many houses um, that were in fact constructed. Marcus, I don't even know if you are aware if there was any building, possibly yes, but not on a large scale. Am I correct, Marcus?
Say again?
Under the last regime, I'm not sure if there was any significant housing program.
Mm,
What we know,
no.
Anika, what we
Well,
know,
well, well, what they had something in 500. They had something on a project called Oasis, New
Yeah,
Oasis
but
being
those were there before. Those were there before, right?
yes, those were there
Yes.
before. So it wasn't nothing new. I don't think it had much new.
It did not have much. It did
right?
not
But
have.
what we know is that the PNM left a lot of them houses to get run down, and the bandits and them go and steal out the copper, the wires, all kind of thing from them houses and them because it was left there by the PNM, by the UNC after 2015. We know that for a fact. I don't know if Marcus knows that, but we know
Yeah,
that.
but I don't think that anyone should have fear about this housing because I think in the past they have executed a very efficient um, way of how they are going to do the construction of the housing. I believe it was under Miss John Marcus. There was 500 houses being given out per week, right? If I could recall, if I do recall, it was something
It
like
was 100 per week
100,000.
for a
Yeah,
sustained period of time.
yes, over a period of time, and we would have seen that over the last few weeks, they were set to also unveil this construction boom, and now it's a bit delayed because the OPR have now stepped in to make sure that all the checks and balances are in place. So I don't think that we should be very concerned about this because I'm pretty sure that people will get jobs. They are just taking a period of time to churn out everything, and I believe jobs will be forthcoming. At the end of the day, Marcus and Professor Wall Street, these were their campaign promises. If the government wants to be re-elected, they have to deliver on their campaign promises. So I
Correct.
don't see anything with this because I believe it will come.
Yeah, people are probably a bit nervous. Remember, things are not as rosy as they hoped it would be, and the country is in a kind of strapped for cash. So things has to be put in place where our natural resources are concerned, and then they will put things in place to get the investments in the foreign direct investments that will create the jobs and open up different markets and so on. So I think people is rushing the brush. They need to take time and give the government some more time. If after 2 years things are not jumping off, and I don't think after 2 years things will jump off because the rate at which Ms. John is going, what is probably keeping back Ms. John is the natural red tape that comes with governance, and that is probably what is retarding the progress of Ms. John. Because if this country was to be run like a private sector, we would have been seeing buildings flying up here, there, and everywhere, and there would have been a lot of work for a lot of people. But they have to go through the regulations and the law and the PSs and so on, and they have to dot the I's and cross the T's, and we have to hold on still because it just don't happen with the drop of a hat. It just don't happen just like that.
Marcus, you're going good, man. Marcus, you're going splendid for us there.
But let me tell you something. You know, I had to with you now. You have food, yes. Yeah,
This is another big development. This is another big development, and what we are seeing that, you know, there was all this talk about the oil industry and all these different things. So we are seeing there's this swap happening, but the main thing KPB Plus indicated is that the main thing comes down to the dollars and cents. Okay, this is our main goal. These are two big companies, either or we are happy with. And I think this is all good news. So people can be talking and saying nothing is happening, but a lot is actually happening. And here we can see definitely income. We will definitely be getting income from what is about to take place.
Your turn. When you're talking.
Marcus, because Marcus, these things.
You like my name, boy. Oh gosh.
No, because
take it comment.
Anika and Marcus, you see, the thing about it is that this government has been very proactive, and what's gonna happen now is that the PNM gonna want to take credit for this as well. That's all I'm saying. The point is that, you know, the government, this is things that not are done for PNM people or just done for UNC people only, you know. These are things that's being done for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. That's what this is about, right? It so happened that we have a proactive government who getting it done. You understand? And every time they get something done, you know, it's like, well, the PNM do that, and the PNM did this. And if the PNM do it, why couldn't they have done it in 10 years? So we have to give credit where credit is due. It's under the astute leadership of Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bissessa. That's why we are where we are today, playing talk bad manners.
All right, but let's just hope whatever is done, the people of Trinidad and Tobago gets the best deal.
Oh God,
Marcus. That's all I'm saying.
You see, I just stated very succinctly and clearly that this is not about for PNM or for UNC. This is about the people.
Hello. I'm moving on with another story, okay?
All right.
All I'm saying is, whatever negotiation is done, when the assets are swapped, I hope we get the most amount of money so that the Treasury will be able to pay pension, teachers, nurses, doctors, disability grants, education.
Already PNM couldn't do.
Read this headline. You take this one.
You actually going to do a Guardian editorial, boy?
I'm the man. Read the thing, the man.
Records faced an important political test.
Yes, you know it has a baccalaureate inside the PNM. And they're going in the parliament and showing the fraudery.
Because the former want the young fella instead of the penny.
Hello. There are too many things going inside the PNM. The PNM in fighting like crazy.
But you have a headline up there, and that is the main thing. What's happening in the PNM is that there's two factions in the PNM. There's a young fella faction, and then there's a penny faction, and then there's the former faction.
That's right.
You understand?
So the PNM has to get there. Go ahead, you go ahead.
And the former already pick a side, right? And he didn't want to deal with the penny. You know, they used to have a penny bank down in Port of Spain, Marcus, a penny bank. You know about the penny bank, right?
Yes, man.
Right?
And
Marcus, let me say this. Marcus, when you get an opportunity, whisper in your political leader left ear. You cannot be like a platypus, a jellyfish, or an invertebrate. You cannot be spineless, no belly, and no stomach. You cannot have all these fellas running press conference after press conference after press conference, and you they like penny one. Look me one, penny one. That's all I could tell you. Tell her, stand up and make a statement and be more strong. As a matter of fact, Marcus, as we speak here, I'm doing an editorial on her statement that she gave the UNC government a 3 out of 10, with 10 being the highest. As we speak, that's why you see me looking at my phone. So I had to multitask. I hear on State of Affairs, well, Marcus, I like all your program, you know. I'm serious, I like all your program.
Well, you can probably come in more often, but you have to stick to the. You can't be
Not
just
sticking to the
one side
issues.
one. You need to be objective, man. Come
No,
on.
Marcus are sticking to the
Nobody
issues.
nobody have a problem with your political affiliation, my friends.
No,
Right?
no, you know,
But
Marcus.
you have to be objective. Come
Marcus, wait.
on.
Marcus,
Wait. That's all. Let me make this fancy. If
All right.
you're in an election mode and you're campaigning for your party, that's a different story. But you are an intellect. You are a university professor. A professorship don't come easy. You have to work very hard to become a professor.
Marcus,
All right? So
Marcus,
when you come here, we want to pull on your knowledge. Not every minute who's a PNM and who's a UNC. Come on.
no,
Do
but
everything objectively. And
Yeah,
if you're
but
welcome
Marcus,
to come here anytime.
Marcus, every time I come here, and I know it, I don't thank my friend Anika because sometimes when I come in, Marcus just get a little nervous.
Yeah, I don't get on nervous. I don't get on nervous, my friend. I just don't like to deal with fake queen, debate queen. Right?
Oh, Marcus,
Because this is an important political test.
But I have a
And
question
you
to
can't
ask. I have a question to ask, and I'm going to ask it. So, Marcus and Professor, I want to hear your response. Do you think Penny Beckles will be removed?
I think so. I will. The PNM, if she doesn't do well in the local government election, definitely they will remove. Her only hope is to do well in the local government election. If it is that she does well in the local government election, she may stand a chance to go forward. And I think Stuart Young is just there in his time. And if it is that the PNM need to have strong leadership and she does not put things in order, she doesn't put the PNM house in order and put things in place to at least win this local government election and to show up things in Tobago, they will replace her. I have no doubt about that in my mind.
Professor, what do you think?
Local government election.
well, until the next internal PNM election, or unless people in the parliament decide to have the PNM decide to have maybe a no confidence in the political leader of the PNM, I don't see how they could remove her. I mean, I just don't see it. Maybe I don't know, but I just don't see how they could remove us political leader unless some senators decide that listen, we have no confidence in her because you know what's this? There's 13 of them in the parliament, right? Right?
Yes. So, what is this political test they speak of?
I don't know. Marcus know that the editorial. I the Guardian and them when them put
What
up
is this political test they speak of?
Marcus will know it better than me. I could tell you what I think they
The
mean.
test will be the local government election, the internal infighting in the PNM.
But Marcus,
Just now, let me finish. The whole debacle that happened there with the former health minister and Faisal Alwari and this guy, there's another guy there that came out. Alwari is a waste of time. All of these things are happening in the PNM and Faisal Alwari don't do nothing. And this is what is happening in the PNM at this time.
But Marcus,
and she needs to deal with that.
Marcus, that ship have already set sail in Tobago when there was a 50-0 defeat in Tobago, right? That that crystallized the leadership of Penelope Beckles.
Right.
And I just say this, and I just make no qualms about this. In my estimation, Penelope Beckers is the weakest opposition leader in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. In my estimation, right? Because she
That's your
shows,
estimation.
yeah, because you can estimate for me, I could estimate for myself,
Of course, your
right?
estimation.
So what do you think, Marcus?
I think she has her own style. We could say the same thing about the current prime minister. Everybody is crying out for her to address the nation, but that is not her style. Her style is to delegate responsibility and let the ministers do their jobs. That's the current prime minister's style. This opposition leader, she has a more quiet, laid back, and sometimes she does make very harsh statements. Well, not as harsh as the current prime minister. The current prime minister makes some very caustic statements at times, right? But that's each person have a different style. Whereas Dr. Rowley would have been the most, where they will label him as a pit bull, right?
No,
A pit
Rottweiler.
bull.
Rottweiler.
Or a
Rottweiler.
Rottweiler, sorry, a Rottweiler, right?
Rottweiler.
And in some aspects, he will rang you up and shake you up. You understand? But he was very forthright, and some people, as I said before, some people appreciated it. And I may even say some people miss it because they are crying out.
Marcus.
Yes, now let me talk, and then you will talk now.
Right.
Marcus, who is missing that type of behavior?
Well, you see people on social media saying, by now we will get a statement, meaning to say the political leader of the PNM, when PNM was in power, Dr. Roy would have came and given a statement and addressed the nation. And in juxtapose that with what have been happening with the current political leader, I've heard Pastor Dutton call for to make a statement. The opposition leader, a lot of people is saying that the prime minister should make a statement. And yesterday she was asked in the launch of the Hilton Garden Inn, she was asked if she need to address, if she's going to address the nation, and she said that's not her style. So if that's not her style, that's not her style. You can't do anything about it.
Marcus, again, Marcus, you see, this sort of PNM propaganda. If you are before the media at that launching yesterday, and as the prime minister rightfully says, I'm here, I'm before you guys right now, right? Why you believe that I have to call a press conference in order for me to address the nation? When I'm here now, you can ask me the questions. You can ask me the questions that you want to ask me. But again, Marcus, and I'm Marcus and Anika. I'm going to put Anika. Marcus and Anika. It is the propagandists of the PNM who want to shift the goalposts to make the people feel the prime minister not addressing the public. You don't have to call a press conference to address the public. You don't have to do that. When there's a situation and the microphones and the telephones and the media and whoever else comes there, you could ask these questions. So how you could tell me now I'm not addressing the public?
And may I just add, it's a very good thing that good sense prevailed and the PM did not come out from very early to make any statements regarding that, in particular related to this incident. Because as the information continues to come and she's being briefed, she said from day one, this was an internal betrayal. So she indicated that this was an internal betrayal, but she was waiting to get her facts. And why would a senior counsel come out in the public domain and be making constant comments on an ongoing investigation to prejudice the matter? I'm not understanding why people would want that. PMKPB Plus is a senior counsel. She knows what she can say and what she cannot say to avoid prejudicing the matter.
And
Am I correct, Professor?
I'm very astute at it. So far, right, in the 1 year under the current government, if people can see the mistakes that have been made by Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bissessa. So think about it. All right, as we talk about Beckles face an important political test, think about it. The choices that have been made so far by Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bissessa as she leads the UNC government have been splendiferous choices. For example, aligning herself with the United States of America as far as dealing with the drugs and the sea, right? People were talking about all kind of things. You remember when they were pushing this thing about the zone of peace? Well, so far the zone of peace gone. That done now. You remember when they was talking about the Maduro of Venezuela go do this and Venezuela go do that? That done. That gone now. Over and over and over, we have seen the decision made by Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar to be astute position, and she continues to be the pale bearer of transformation in the Western Hemisphere. You can maybe you can point to one thing, one mistake that maybe she has made over the past 11 months. But compare and contrast. Coco actually sing a song about that, Marcus. Compare and contrast. If you compare and contrast the things that the Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar have done in 11 months, as opposed to some of the mistakes that the PNM make over 10 years, it's chalk and veer mango.
I don't think anyone can dispute what you said. As we know that people want things to happen overnight, and they want to be only comparing and saying and all these different things. But we have to take into account that the government is only 1 year in office. They still have 4 more years um, to deliver and for us to see where things are going. And we need to be able to understand that even when an incident takes place, yes, everyone wants to blame and say many things, but we need to be able to step back a bit, get the facts, understand that it's a fluid situation, and then after try to make her comments. But unfortunately, this is not what's happening. So everything is being misconstrued and everything is just getting convoluted. And then we have the propagandists just peddling fake news, fake news, fake news all over. So these are the times that we are in. And I would say, as the UNC heads to their first anniversary, my advice to them will be they need to have a very good communication team, because at this point in time, with this social media and with all these propagandists online, my best advice is that they need to have a proper communication team and channels to be able to get their messaging out. So
Quick,
I think,
quick question, Anika.
yes.
I understand that yesterday there was an internal. When is the little election they having for the leadership of Tobago? When is that?
Is it I have to double check the date. I don't have the date on hand.
I think it's either was yesterday or it is Monday. I'm not sure. We had to get that information.
Yes, I will get that information to find out who.
All
That's
right.
the,
Our last
that's the
headline here
PNM
is
internal
that
election?
Yes, that's with
no,
that's with
Tobago,
Huh?
no, that's with Shamfo Kojo in
Champagne,
Tobago.
Kojoana,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Okay.
guy there,
Morris.
Morris
Yes.
there.
Who do
Shake up
you
a
who do you think will win?
communication.
Marcus, who you supporting in that election?
I ain't really following that so much, but the incumbent, and then we have the firebrand, which is a woman, which will be a first that we have a female PNM leader. So probably I don't know if Shamfa may take it. I don't know, but she's a strong vocal person.
I laughing
You
because
know.
I like how Marcus kind of dance around
Well, what you want me to do? I don't live in Tobago, papi.
No, I
I
don't
don't
live
see
in
Tobago politics.
no, I don't live in Tobago, neither Marcus, but Marcus, think about this, right, Marcus? I don't think the
You know,
okay.
don't. I tell you already. Don't start your statement by asking me a question. You make your statement, and you can ask a question. Who you think will win?
Yeah.
Who you think will win?
Who me?
Yes,
Yeah, who
who
you
do
think?
you think will win?
Morris.
Morris. Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because Shamfa Kojo was an MP for Tobago, right?
Yeah.
right? All of them lose their seat, right? But
Champon,
Morris was the last opposition leader for the PNM in Tobago, right? He was the only one that was in the Tobago House of Assembly, right?
who
And a
Dr.
different
Shed Mohammed support had encouraged to go back up to be a leader when he did that one too. Dr. Shed Mohammed.
encourage
Morris,
who?
that's no?
Yes, he encouraged.
He encouraged Morris.
Dr. Morris, yes, he encouraged him.
Hmm.
Very interesting.
Or he encouraged well, I could
Yes,
see, yeah, because well, he supported Morris, right? Well, he supported Morris, right? Yeah,
But he said he has what it takes to be a leader, but he
yeah.
needed to be more, he needed to be, he needed to show more leadership skills. He needed to be more proactive. So this is what he said.
I want to think that Shampa Kojo comes with a lot of baggage.
He also said that.
She has a lot of baggage, and she has some in her handbag too, not just in baggage, but if you go back to some of the things that she has said, and when the statement she made, and she was comparing why certain PNM people stayed home, and she made a statement reference to somebody from the UNC, and he called the type of name now. Most of the time the PNM just go down that line, and a lot of times when the PNM talk, it's rather sing that song, something to the rum shop, something to the this and something to the that. That's how the PNM does go sometime, and Champa went down that road. And I think most people might have, and Champa doesn't have a slate either. While Morris has a slate, but Champa Kojo doesn't have a slate. So, I think at the end of the day,
I
I
think
don't
I
know.
heard her saying that the slate thing causes issues and causes division, and she plans to have a very clean campaign where he was doing the opposite. She will be very clean and just present herself with the experience she has. And I think you let the best person win, and whoever wins, they will have to now fight with the formidable people in Tobago at this time to come back from a 15
It's
nil.
interesting to use the words clean. A lady that has had a very some very foul things
That's what she said.
foul
She said
things
that
that came from her mouth.
Anika,
a
Anika,
radio program recently.
You
Yes.
consider that again. A person saying clean. Oh, it's Navitra, some kind of Navitra, she said, when she was making a comparison. And the comparison she was making is a race comparison, right? By calling one name, why calling the African name, why the person with the African name stay home, and why the person with the Indian name went and vote. That is what Champagne Kojonem is about. And that
Yes,
is
that's
race.
what I know her for. And
That's race baiting.
I also recall that when the radar was in Tobago, I was so shocked. She said that she don't want to tell them where to take it and put it.
Yeah.
So I am very surprised that now she wants to run a clean campaign. But then again, in life, nothing surprises us. So
Yeah. Yeah.
possibly she has had a moment and she reflected and she
She reflect.
realized.
All of a sudden, you're going on run for leader and you're reflecting. Anyway, the election is supposed to be on the 26th.
Okay, good. Thank you for that
Kelvin
information. So
Morris,
we have to keep track of that.
Kelvin Morris took the lead as PNM Tobago election moved to April 26th.
Okay, so we have to keep track. So in our final
Right.
story, there's some shake-up. The GM has been replaced.
Communications as GM replaced.
Okay, so do we have facts on this matter? Do we know what was the
But
basis?
I saw the line minister making some statements, Mr. Padarat. He was saying that there was some shady dealings went on there, some mysterious things happened there at Amplia in the beginning of the term of the PNM, and that they have now to come and clean up the whole situation, and this is part of the whole cleanup of the Amplia situation. So let's see how it goes. And the same way how in the private sector, when a government change, they take out who they deem to be appointed by the former regime, they move them, and that is
You mean
part
in
of
the
the
public sector, Marcus?
yeah,
Not in the private, in the public sector.
any public sector
Oh,
and the
you say
private sector too,
private.
because They just
No,
removed this guy because PNM,
wait,
the person said, yeah, the
Marcus, in the
training
private
manager has
sector,
been removed
Mark, I
in the private
understand that
sector.
one. How in the private
But
sector, new government come in and think that in
but
the private.
there's Amplia, there's the public sector.
So if
Who
there's
is the
the public,
majority shareholder in Amplia?
so Marcus, if it's the public sector, right? For example, when the government comes into power, things will change at TTT because that's the public,
That's
that is the
right.
state-run organization. But if
Where's
it's
the
private,
shareholding variance in Amplia?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right. When you find out that, we will talk. Let me finish with my statement. So they are making changes at Amplia under the current situation. Hello, go ahead.
No, but I think that it's quite fair to say that what we're seeing, it's nothing. Normally, when a government changes, they normally change who is there. So I don't think any government can sit with a very straight face and say otherwise. So I don't know why we are trying to do the blame game. This is par for the course. This
Correct.
is normal.
This is not even a news story. I saw that
Yeah,
too.
that's
And
right. This is par for the course.
this is not even and I asking myself, I said, but wait now, player boy, it's like them, you're spinning up in mud, and like you're going down into the sub basement to try to find a business story about shake up at player.
And I
That is
think they are
new.
working
That is
full
new.
time because I would say for me, the most the most funniest story that I think was created out of nothing occurred this week when a journalist attempted to question Senator Roberts. And that became a story. Be-
But
That became, I was asking myself that there's so much news. How is this a story?
the one with the prison.
Yes.
Yeah, and they talk about turnkey or tonky, whatever it is, and Trinidad. Listen, I tell you, we had to get credit. Uh, our program, Marcus, I'll bring you on our program one day. You have to come on our program. You understand? You see, like, oh, you all allow me to
Only
come.
if you're paying me.
Eh?
Only if you're paying me.
Well, I'll give you VAT. I'll give you VAT. I'll give you VAT. Yeah. I just wonder, seriously, some of these headlines, and the thing about it is that I understand media, right? You just have a headline in order for people to buy the newspaper. And when you go inside and you read the article, it might really have nothing to do with the headline, right? I understand that. But some of the things that they are writing today, boy, it is like, and not only that, but after the story have already been vetted on social media 3 days ago, them now bringing that story in the newspaper. You understand? So,
No, but Professor, I don't hold any beef, and for those that know, I don't hold any beef at all for Senator Roberts. But how did that become a story?
because they can make it a story, the media can make it a story. So let's
So
put this
I
up.
am a bit, but then again, there's a lot of news. There's no shortage, but definitely, Professor, we have to do a cross stream. We have to do something
Yeah,
together.
absolutely. And I'll make sure I'm not doing it unless Marcus did. If
We
Marcus,
need to because
Where you
there's
want me
a
so
lot.
far? What
Marcus,
chocolate is?
Marcus, we are into media. We are into media, and it's important that we have a balance, right? We have people with different opinion, and
No,
our
you want somebody that you will try to bash.
no,
Right?
no, 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 I don't bash people. But anyway, before we go, listen to this. Ampere Communication is a wholly owned subsidiary of TSTT. Because the government of Trinidad and Tobago holds a majority stake in TSTT, it effectively holds a controlling interest in Ampere.
Say that part
Right?
again.
Because the government of Trinidad and Tobago holds a majority stake in TSTT, it effectively holds a controlling interest in Ampere.
So my argument is then very much correct. The government is cleaning up,
Well, the
right?
government
They
basically,
hold the majority stake in Amplia.
yes,
That's what you say?
and that
Right.
is
Now, let me pause
understood.
it. Let me pause it. Wait.
Yeah.
The same way. Yes, sir. The same way. Right? The same way.
Mm.
Like the point I was making earlier and you all lambaste me. The same way.
Mm.
The government is now changing out this manager from Amplia. The
Yeah.
UNC government had a right to take away this guy's job and put
No,
somebody else.
No,
no,
Marcus.
no,
No,
Marcus.
Marcus. No, Marcus.
No,
I would not
Don't
allow you to say that.
no, no,
I
no,
would
no,
not
They
no.
should
allow
We
have
you
can't
to
allow
say
you to
that.
go down
I
that,
would
should
Marcus.
have
not
moved
allow
this
you to
Marcus,
fella.
say that.
They
we
should have
can't
moved
allow
this
Marcus,
you
your
to
this
go.
now.
argument is
Or we can't
flawed.
talk at the same time. They should have
Marcus,
moved
your
this fella.
argument is flawed.
Listen,
Yeah, we can't allow you to
the
mislead
can't tell
people
you
like that,
argument flawed.
Marcus.
Viewers, do you
Your
think my
argument
argument
is
is flawed?
flawed.
Viewers, put in the comment section. Is my argument flawed?
It
The
is
Your
same way they
flawed.
argument
move
is flawed.
the
Flawed.
Amplia guy here. And they move this manager here. Isn't he a manager? Isn't he in management?
Marcus, let me make
Appointed by the PNM government?
Marcus, let me make the
So
difference.
if you are saying you said that he is there because he has a relative who is a PNM. Now this woman here is dead. Right? Now this woman here is dead because they didn't remove this fella to manage the situation properly. So who is responsible?
Marcus, but
I rest my
but
case. If I
why?
was a lawyer in a court, I win my case.
No, Marcus. Sorry to say, Professor, Professor, please let me take in front first, and then after you will respond. Marcus, your argument, Marcus, your argument is flawed. Marcus, your argument is flawed on various levels. Number one, why would they just remove someone?
I set you up good for that one day, Professor. Yes, so you're moving in your seat, you're uncomfortable. You have no rebuttal. Come, you battle. I'm asking why.
Let Anika go ahead.
Number one, why would they just remove someone? There must be a basis. Is it that you were saying that they should have gone in there and willfully just remove someone for no
They get a
reason?
new commissioner. The commissioner came under this government.
Marcus, you are muddling things.
Commissioner
You
had
are
a right
muddling
to
things.
remove to go in and check these systems. The
Marcus,
minister had a right to make sure
Marcus, your
that these
argument
systems
is
are being
flawed
checked,
on
that
various
the funds are not
levels.
being sold to the
Marcus,
underworld.
Marcus, your argument is flawed and it is ill-informed.
It is.
Professor, over to you.
Marcus, your statement and comparison when you're comparing it really and truly it just doesn't make sense, Marcus. You know what you did, Marcus? You went down the
I don't care what you say.
No, but listen to this. You went down the road to get water and you had a bucket with a hole in it. And you fill up the bucket and you're walking up the road with the bucket of water. And by the time you reach where you're going, all the water fall out the bucket.
But you can say what you want.
No, but, and here's why it's flawed. I just give you information regarding Amplia and why the government can do what they did with Amplia because of the ownership.
So who running it TPS? Not the government?
MPS is under the San Fernando City Corporation. It is under the San Fernando City Corporation.
And who is the minister?
Yes, the line minister is Khadija Amin.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So
All right. So that person.
And
right
it's 5:22. We have to end the program. I don't want to see them trend. If you and
no, that's fine. I'm fine.
I'll let her continue, but I had to go.
All right.
Yes, but Marcus, please don't go about making ill-informed statements, please.
Yeah. So Marcus,
Professor, thank you so much for joining the program.
Very nice.
I want to thank you guys for really having me. I appreciate it, and you guys have a splendiferous program.
Right, I was asking, Professor.
Yeah.
I really don't know how to spell splendiferous. And what's the next word you guys use?
Fantabulous.
Fantabulous.
Yes.
I will spell out them two words.
SPLENDIFEROUS. SPLENDIFEROUS and FANTABLUOUS.
Wow, very good. I learned something today.
Well,
splendiferous and what?
Fantabulous. Fantabulous.
Yeah, get to learn new words.
And Marcus, and that's what it's about, because the reason why I come on this program, Marcus, is because I would like to see your program grow, because I like the program. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, Anika is my friend. And Marcus is kind of my friend too. But yeah. I appreciate it. And I was saying
I
on
did
here,
not bakery, bakery boy.
listen to this. I was
Professor
You're
is
saying,
at the
my
end.
friend.
listen to this.
Professor is my
I
friend.
was saying on your
He's a
doing
very
work in
good
the
man.
program.
Professor is a nice guy, and Professor,
Well,
you are
that's lovely.
welcome. I would say to everyone, you are welcome on this program anytime, and I look forward. I think that we can do. We have to do a our
Simulcast.
collab stream
Yeah,
where it is we because we know where Marcus sits. So Marcus has made his affiliation quite clear. So it will be
Yeah,
absolutely
nice.
clear.
I don't have a
It,
problem with that.
it will be
I can
nice to
defend
have
myself.
different different views and
Yeah,
different things, and I think that will be quite nice. So we have to just decide
right.
when.
So I want to thank you and Marcus seriously for
Thank
having me.
you.
And I appreciate, coming on the program and having these type of debates and having cordial debates. Even though, we may be in a different spectrum, but we could have cordial debates and we could just keep it moving. So I appreciate it, guys, and thank you very much. I
Thank you
appreciate it.
so much.
No
Have a
problem.
good
No problem.
afternoon. Trinidad and Tobago,
You too.
as we
Take care.
bring the curtains down, we say thank you to Professor Wall Street, who is the host of WZYE 9. Am I correct?
Yeah, WZY 95.9 FM. Our
Thank you
program
very
is
much.
on Monday,
So
Tuesday, and
we say
Thursdays.
thank
Hey,
you
hey,
so
hey,
much.
hey, hey. Don't freak out. No, 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 no.
No,
Go ahead, go
because
ahead, go ahead.
you
Let's do it.
collaborating. Our program is on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. on WZY TV on YouTube and
Yes.
WZY 95.9 FM on Facebook. And I'm going to say to you
All right.
guys, Anika and Marcus have an excellent program. And, I support them, and you all should support them too as well.
Thank you so
I will
much.
send you the invoice for that 30-second ad, right?
All right. Yeah.
Have a good
All
afternoon.
right. Take
Trinidad
care.
and Tobago, there we had it a very lively discussion, but thank you so much. And we look forward to joining you tomorrow. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Take care.